Hey everybody, I am on for the midweek message reveal Wednesday, July 24th. Welcome to this week's energy update. We've got a lot going on. That second full moon that we had in Capricorn last week was really intense. And if you feel now like you've kind of pivoted and moved into a different sort of timeline where things seem stretchy and weird, especially after the last week, yes, that is the case. My nose is itching like crazy just even talking about it. So there's lots of physical confirmations in my realm of receiving information that is saying, yeah, 100%. So this switch over has us kind of feeling a little disoriented. And from a solar and cosmic weather perspective, as our bodies are getting more and more light and less dense, as we are becoming more electronic in our energy and our lightness, and that density is shifted, we are interacting with the magnetic fields and the electric grid as well in a different sense. And that is affecting us. It affects us in lots of different ways, physically, emotionally, mentally, and it's just a thing. And now since we have Mercury that's going to be moving into Virgo tomorrow, it is preparing itself to go retrograde, and so are we. So we are in the shadow period, which is 2 weeks before retrograde on August 5th. And as it moves retrograde in the sign of Virgo, and Virgo wants to tie up the loose ends, make things more efficient, make things more less stress, more productivity in a way that values everyone's energy. And as Mercury is around and known for its ability to support communication and create connections, the focus is going to be on things that will allow us to be more effective in a creative sense, in a communication way as well, and how we can make sure that we are heard, but also that we are clear. And that clarity is going to be disrupted by retrogrades, because retrogrades are going to say, we want to shake this up a little bit, we want to see what we can do here, because we got to make you a little bit uncomfortable in order to get you to stretch yourself out of your comfort zone and try something different. So if you're running into situations that are coming back again, people who are coming back around, who are reappearing, respawning, and kind of coming back into your experience, a lot of that is the energetics of right now. And it's designed for you to look at things again and have another opportunity to express your preference and to decide whether or not you want to continue the way things have gone, or if you'd like to do something differently, or if you'd like to just completely not engage entirely. It's up to you. It is your adventure to choose from. So that, taking into account that, we've moved into Leo, and Leo energy is all about, let me show you how awesome I am and how much I love myself in the best way. And Leo loves to glow up, loves to see people living their best life. That's why, in a sense, with this re-energizing of the political climate here in the US and across the world, with things going on and things changing and shifting and everyone going like, what the frig is going on here? It's designed to be up in the air. The energy feeds on it, and we see in turn people stepping into their power, stepping up and speaking out, and you're invited to do that as well in your own big, small, or personal ways. And the energy supports this. Okay. So as I said before, the format has changed here to where we are working with items, and I would love your feedback on this. I'm going to go through these and connect through the channeling and then review afterwards, all right? So just give yourself a moment to kind of get settled in your chair, clear your mind and your space for a moment while I connect, get myself focused. All right, so we're starting with 1. I feel a heaviness in my chest, 1, and the heaviness is connected to a feeling of grief, and a grief that you've been kind of a grief around feeling a sense of things didn't wrap up with another party in a way that you wanted to. in a way that you feel now looking back, that you had a better opportunity to wrap things up with. And through this reflection, as you are really feeling a sense of nostalgia that's coming up from some of it has to do with your environment, some of it has to do with some of the people that you're interacting with, new people that remind you of other people in your spheres, and these other people, in a sense, they do feel like shadows, aspects of people who had strong personalities or contributed to your life in a social sense, a supportive sense, during a pivotal time. And that could be developmental, that could be the college years, your early adolescent years, where these sort of relationships were made, and that nostalgia is purposeful. It's bringing you back to a place where an earlier aspect of yourself, an earlier version of you, is looking to heal through what you've gone through at this point. So there's a resonance that's here, and I actually feel it kind of moving out in like a point out of my chest here, from the heart chakra, from the Anahata chakra. And it's a place of compassion that you are starting to reach back to yourself and forgive a part of you for how something went down that you wanted to do in a different way. And now you have the perspective from all of this life experience and it's allowing you to look back and go, I wish I would have an opportunity to fix that, or say something different, or I know exactly what to say now, or I wish I could make a connection again. And maybe you can, and maybe that's the point for you, some of you, and the rest of it is more in a what is the overall lesson sort of way. What is the takeaway? How do you connect to a younger version of yourself who experienced these things, and what are you doing now in order to kind of create that integration? Because when we have moments with our younger selves, they're coming up because they want to be recognized, and they're bringing with them something that needs to be healed. And as we heal them, we heal all of the versions of ourselves prior to, and it's just a beautiful shift. And we continue like the lotus, like the onion, to peel those layers back and back and back and back. So this is another layer for you. Your hunger situation as well, your appetite is shifting and changing. Sometimes you're feeling very hungry and sometimes you're not feeling hungry at all. That's just something that is moving through. It's not something that sticks around for long, and it's more a matter of you just getting to a space of grounding as you kind of recalibrate, because you're taking in a lot, you're learning a lot, and a lot of it's being done at a subconscious level. Okay, but again, not a medical practitioner. If something is wrong, seek out help, not from me. Okay, love you. All right, 2. Ooh, my finger twitch. There's some energy on this guy. 2. I'm seeing a tightrope. I'm seeing someone walking on a tightrope, and I'm seeing them holding plates. It's like I'm getting 2 different visuals for what is stress overwhelm that I interpret, where too many plates spinning and walking a tightrope, trying to get yourself from point A to point B, and trying to do so in a way that is not being asked of you, actually, too. This is something that you are putting on yourself. There's extra that's coming from you. There's more effort that you're putting out. There's more of a desire to be seen, which is not surprising with Leo energy. Some of you might have Leo placements that are actually really drawing out that solar energy from the solar plexus. I am feeling like in the pit of my stomach, like when you feel sort of you can't tell if you're hungry or if your stomach's upset, that kind of vibe. And through that is where you're healing an aspect of yourself that really wants to be acknowledged for the work that you've put in previously that wasn't acknowledged by yourself. It's almost a feeling of having to overproduce in order to at least reach a stasis. There's like a quota that you've given yourself. There's you're not letting yourself rest. You're not letting yourself off the hook about some things that has to do with old connections to what working means, what production means, what, even in a financial sense, what an energy exchange looks like, because that is what money is. That's what abundance is. It's here is what I'm giving as an offering, and here is what I receive in exchange, and we put a value on that. And that value for you is shifting. Your time is becoming more important than what you're receiving monetarily. It's not lining up. And so there's a desire for you to try and either balance that out, big Libra energy, trying to move that into a space where you can keep things a bit more stabilized. And that desire for stabilization will just be exacerbated by this Virgo energy that's happening in Mercury. Don't let it upend you, though. Don't get obsessed about it. Just understand that it's here to work with you. So when you're feeling like organizing, jump in. And when you need to take a break, take a break. Because remember, Virgo rules the body, so it's going to take you down. Wouldn't be surprised if there is some feeling to some constriction for you as well too, in the throat a little bit, or a weakness in the voice. It's everything is fine. It's just a shift, and you're learning about how you do things, and you're learning about your patterns, and this seems to be the most efficient way that has been selected for you. So just take it seriously, but don't make a career out of it. And isn't it funny that we were just talking about career? Okay. All right, 3. Here you go, 3. There's a lot of mental chatter, just even connecting as soon as I pick up the little skull guy. There's just a blasting of sound, and it's almost, there's just a constant something on loop. Whether you're in an environment that's very loud and isn't allowing you to have time to be in a space of quiet, and you're gonna need to seek that out for yourself, or you're feeling that loudness is coming from an internal chatter and rumination, which is something very much connected with some of the energies going on, especially the solar flare energy that can kind of bring about that anxiety, sort of ruminating vibe, and a wanting to be up in the higher chakras, up in the airy spaces that the fire loves to evaporate up into, and carry us away like a hot air balloon, right? That is the combo of the air fire situation. And what's happening with you is a desire to move into a space that lets you be in a place of rest where you are recuperating, and that rest isn't necessarily sleeping. Okay, there's different kinds of rests. This is like a resting of your psyche and your soul, and allowing yourself some time to kind of decompress. Whether that is a new hobby or something that allows you to be in a state of meditative, present moment action, like cooking a meal that requires you to be really present and do a lot of preparation, or requires several steps and techniques that you get to focus on and work on over time. There's a draw for you to really your higher self, your inner child, all of the versions of you are kind of like, we would really love to kind of get lost in a little bit of something here for that kind of rest, because what you've been experiencing in your day-to-day has been really spiky. I'm seeing like a cardiogram, and the spikes are very intermittent. There hasn't been enough downtime before another uptick. And this is where you're going to have to create something for yourself. That's not to say that you couldn't do with a nap or a spa treatment. Hey, go get it, do your thing. But you need to have a different kind of rest that allows you to be in a space of play and creativity. The Leo energy is really going to love that and want that, and will be positive in the spiky times for you. All right, moving on to 4. All right, if you chose 4, tier 4. I feel connecting with your energy 4. I feel like I get like a lump in my throat, and I feel like a swelling of emotion, and it's not negative. It's not like oh, I'm so sad. It's a true appreciation and gratitude for the bittersweet aspects of life. It's almost like you're experiencing a different depth, where you've had tragedy and you've had loss and you've had great gain and you've had success, and you're starting to see where you exist in the in between, and that life is truly that pendulum swinging one way or the other. The thing you're grappling with now is the fear of being in a space where things are good and knowing that there is balance, so the likelihood that you can go back the other direction into a space that is not so favorable feels scary. The message coming through in the advice, especially from your team, is not to pay attention to that back kick, because you don't have to experience that unless you prefer. And if you were to experience something that is negative, it really is up to you whether or not you decide that your reaction will see that as a negative thing or not. That is not to say that bad things or negative things are happened or caused by you. That's not what I mean. It's more that the universal law is that all things come into balance, and that there is no positive or negative. Everything is a both and that there is the yin and yang balance of things. And through this balance, we find a space in yourself that allows you to find that sense of respite and to give yourself a place of healing. You've come to the end of a cycle of things. There's a closing here, and some of it feels like it's like legal. Some of it feels like it's transactional. I'm trying to find the right word here. It's very much in the reality of the world. It's very 3D. It's very day to day. It's very heavy, and that is not the energy you want to be in anymore. And this is closing, and it's resolving, and this is allowing you to be on a little bit of a plateau. Okay, so don't feel like you aren't advancing, because it feels like there's some trepidation there. It's not that you aren't advancing, you're just being given a little bit of a break to catch your breath. You've been on the up and up, and yes, there is a plateau, but the plateau is for a reason. So trust the timing. Don't stress. Take this time to kind of gather your jelly beans so you have something to go on later, okay? It's all good. And you should be proud of yourself. You're doing stuff that isn't comfy. All right, so those are the messages this week. Would love to hear how they land for you. Also would like to ask your opinions on selecting items. Are you finding yourself connecting to the items and that's what's making you choose them? Do you think it could be any item? I would like to experiment with it being just random things and see what happens. But again, this is This is a space that I appreciate your support in and your feedback, and I appreciate your love and support for this community. And if you would love to work with me, like I would love to work with you, please go ahead and check me out at my website. You can DM me or send me an email, fill out my contact form, and we can talk about whatever you'd like to do. Thanks so much for hanging out. I hope you have an awesome week. Peace. Bye.